This is QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Karaba Avenue. I am Umudu Gajaga and thank you for joining us. First, here are the main news headlines. Today, Saturday, President Barrow took time off from his weekend break to continue his inspection tour of the government's facilities in the West Coast region and the Kanifing municipality. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, on Friday commended the Gambia government for republishing the draft constitution in the official gazette. The chairman of the Kush task force, Commissioner Pa Samba Bojang, and Sefo Singate, the senior program officer, non-communicable diseases at the Ministry of Health, have highlighted the dangers of the apparent increase of the abuse of the drug Kush in the Gambia. The National Assembly member for Bundung, Honorable Suleiman Jame, earlier this week organized a community dialogue with key stakeholders ahead of the formal opening of the Bundung Road, which had been under construction. In international news, in a historic achievement, Senegal joins an elite group of African countries operating a satellite after it successfully launched its first satellite, Gaindesat 1A, in the United States of America. Those were the main news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. Today, Saturday, President Barrow took time off from his weekend break to continue his inspection tour of government's projects, such as the University of Applied Science in Brikama, the National Emergency Treatment Center in Farato, and the Independence Stadium in Bakau. To assess their progress, Aliou Cisse went along with the president and he now reports.
The president is accompanied on this inspection tour by cabinet ministers, Deputy Speaker Sidi Eskenjai, senior government officials and contractors of various projects. The first port of call was to the Gambia College in Brikama, where dormitories are being constructed to help address the accommodation challenges faced by its students. From here, the president inspected the ongoing construction of the first phase of the World Bank-funded University of Applied Sciences, Engineering and Technology, also in Brikama, where the foundation stone was laid in August 2022. The project is linked to the World Bank's Africa Center of Excellence program. The contractor gave assurances that it should be ready by the end of this year. At the National Emergency Treatment Center in Farato, which was initiated in December 2021, significant progress is seen here as contractors work to complete the project by end of the year. The center is part of the process of transforming the Gambia's healthcare delivery system for better performance. President Barrow also visited the country's first test laboratory for food and drugs, which is under construction near Brusubi Turntable. The laboratory aims to enhance public health by providing rigorous testing and quality assurance for food and drug products. President Barrow is happy with the progress of the projects and calls on Gambians to embrace the projects and support his government's development aspirations.
It is very important for us to visit the project sites, and also visiting the project sites will also put pressure on the contractors, put pressure on the consultants, and also the partners also will be well informed about what is happening. Overall, as he said, we are doing a lot of things. We are doing in different areas, different sectors, the health sector, the sports sector, the road infrastructure, agriculture, energy. We are doing a lot at the same time. So I think Gambians, the advice is let us maintain a little bit of patience.
The president wrapped up his tour at the country's Independence Stadium in Bakau, which is undergoing a massive rehabilitation following a ban by African football's governing body, CAF. Built in the early 1980s, the stadium had never undergone a major refurbishment.
It's really unfortunate. I think previous government should have taken care of this. This is not our fault, this is not our making. But now government is continuity. It is our responsibility to make sure that we fix this studio. We will fix it and think about building another one. But before thinking about another one, we have to fix this one first.
With the Gambia preparing to celebrate its 60th independence anniversary next February, the president announced that inauguration of these projects will form part of activities of the celebrations. Information Minister Dr. Ismaila Cisse commended the president for what he called his visionary leadership while thanking donor partners for their support to the government. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, on Friday commended the Gambia government for republishing the draft constitution in the official gazette. As Usman Jatta reports, the revival of the draft constitution comes after several consultations between the government and its local and international partners. Here is the report.
In a press release on Friday, the 16th of August 2024, the Gambian government gave notice that it has considered and reviewed the draft constitution that was presented by the Constitutional Review Commission on the 30th of March 2020. The regazetting of the constitution provides the platform for eventual tabling before the National Assembly. This latest draft will initially be gazetted from the 16th of August for 3 months and subsequently for another 10 days as required under the 1997 Constitution. In response to the government's notice, a press release from the ECOWAS Commission states, the gazetting represents an important milestone in the process of building a new constitution that reflects the aspirations and vision of the Gambian people. The draft constitution has been a product of 2.5 years of work, including nationwide and international consultations with Gambians. However, on September 22, 2020, National Assembly members rejected the draft constitution. Thus, the bill failed to make it to the third reading after 31 lawmakers voted for the draft constitution to move to the next stage, and 23 voted against it. If all had gone as planned, the new constitution would have gone to a referendum in 2021. All signs suggest that it would have garnered overwhelming popular support. Some of the contentious subjects surrounding the rejected draft constitution included the issue of the vetting of the appointment of ministers by the National Assembly, the inclusion of the word secular, the presidential 2-term limit retroactive clause, and the threshold required to pass a resolution to impeachment of the president, which was deemed low. However, for the first time in the history of Gambia's constitutional development, the latest draft introduces term limits for persons serving in the office of president and a mechanism of justice and accountability for atrocious crimes. In February 2024, the government, through its partners including International IDEA and Gambia Participates, met with key stakeholders to get a consensus to ensure the successful reintroduction of the draft constitution. Spearheading this consultation efforts were renowned diplomat Muhammad Ibn Chambers and Dr. Roba Sharam, IDEA's Regional Director for African and West Asia. The regazetting of the draft constitution appears to indicate that those efforts have borne fruit. Osman Jata, reporting for QTV News.
The chairman of the Kush Task Force, Commissioner Pa Sambabojang, and Seifo Singate, the Senior Program Officer Non-Communicable Diseases at the Ministry of Health, highlighted the dangers of the apparent increase of the abuse of the drug Kush in the Gambia and its implications for users and the health sector. Usman Jata again.
In recent months, several people have been reported dead in this country and many others hospitalized due to the drug Kush, and its apparent increase in use among young people is worrying. Among other side effects, the drug causes users to fall asleep while walking or fall over, harming themselves. Authorities allegedly trace Sierra Leone as the main source of Kush, which is mostly marketed by some Gambian youths and Sierra Leoneans residing in the country. Seifo Singate, a Senior Non-Communicable Disease Program Officer at the Ministry of Health, emphasizes the possible implications of Kush intake for the country's health system.
And this is having a very hard toll on the health system, because we know our health system is already stressed with all the communicable diseases that we are battling with, coupled with the non-communicable diseases as well. If these mental substances also want to be added to that, it will also burden the stress even more. So it is seriously having a very hard impact on the health system.
A combination of cannabis and allegedly human bones and various chemicals are elements of this drug. In a bid to combat the deadly menace, the government launched a Kush task force mandated to conduct research, advocacy and medical-related issues. Commissioner Pa Sambabojang is the chairman of this task force.
The task force have done a lot, and we are still continuing to do a lot. Because if you understand what is Kush drug addiction is all about, it's an attitudinal or behavioral issue. And we also, yes, there is an enforcement issue going on, but we are trying to deal with the accused or the suspect or the patients directly for them to understand the dangers related to Kush and its medical implications. But and we'll try to talk to them to understand the legal implication attached to this course, for them to understand, because you don't force them to stop it, but you engage them to stop it. That's why the task force is focusing more. Because we have to at least cut the cycle system and the distribution structures we disrupted also.
The country's hospitals have so far registered 126 related cases of KUS with a death toll of 8%. The regions that are mostly affected are Brikama and the Greater Banjul area. Health experts link the high number of the KUS cases in these areas to their high population concentration and presence of social amenities. Mr. Singate further noted that the country has not identified any standard medications for KUS and advises young people to choose their health over death.
Our advice is life is more beautiful, life is more important than KUS. So it's better you choose your health, you choose your life than KUS, because KUS takes your life in seconds. You take something, a substance that can take your life instantly, or you do something to yourself that you end up regretting after gaining your consciousness, is foolishness.
The abuse and trafficking of KUS represents a grave challenge confronting the Gambia and this sub-region. Some experts believe addressing the KUS crisis requires a comprehensive approach that addresses its root causes, tackle its transnational dimensions, and safeguards the health and well-being of communities across the region. Osman Jata, reporting for QTV News.
From that report by Usman Jata, we'll now go for a commercial break, and when we return, we still have some more local and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertel-Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway, is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. A 3-lane highway means more space for vehicles, smoother traffic flow, and reduced congestion. Each lane has a specific purpose. The leftmost lane for overtaking and faster vehicles, the middle lane for standard driving, and the rightmost lane for slower and turning vehicles.
Need a quick car service? Espas Motors has got you covered. From quick scans to oil changes and fuel filter replacements, we handle it all within an hour. Take advantage of our exclusive promotion with 35% off labor and 10% off service. Espas Motors is located at Bertel-Harding Highway, opposite Kotu Power Station. Book now. Call 353-4444, 352-2222, 385-6822. Hurry. Offer ends September 7th. Espas Motors.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. This is QTV News. The National Assembly member for Bundung, Honorable Suleiman Jame, earlier this week organized a community dialogue with key stakeholders, youth leaders, and the National Roads Authority ahead of the formal opening of the Bundung Road, which has been under construction for 2 years. Anzumane Sonyasi tells us more.
This community engagement was organized to discuss road safety issues and maintenance for sustainability. The stakeholders and the community members commended the government for constructing the road, which was in a deplorable state over the years, making it difficult to use by motorists and commuters. However, as in every sphere of development, the newly constructed road also comes with its challenges, including concerns on the safety of children, respect for road and traffic regulations, and indiscriminate dumping of waste by community members, especially in the newly constructed gutters along the road. Honorable Suleiman Jame urged residents to take ownership of the road project for sustainability and to help save lives.
ci député bi ñun ñu ngi fa pour waxtaan ak nguur bi négocier ak ñoom.
My job at the National Assembly is not just to make laws, but to represent you and your interests. And this I have been doing since assuming office. I will continue to advocate for you and lobby for development projects for our community. However, we must take ownership of these projects so they can serve us long.
Salibaji, a resident of Bundung, Aja Ami Jata, former lady councillor, and Usman Job, a driver and resident of Bundung, all welcomed the initiative. They shared their concerns with the NRA and called on drivers to avoid speeding and always observe traffic rules.
war nañoo sóolaare comme li wax ndox bi bu tawee fu ndox bi di jaar pour fu moo wàcca.
They need to look at the various waterways in the community. Whenever it rains, the water flows into people's homes, and the neighborhood is inundated sometimes. I hope the NRA will look into it and expedite the construction of the gutters. But most importantly, cover the gutters, because if you leave them open, people throw waste into the gutters that causes blockage and flooding. The way drivers speed on this road is quite concerning. This is a residential area, and most of us who live near the road are concerned because we have children. So I want to plead with drivers to also sensitize their colleagues when they go back to their garage.
You should advise us because as drivers, we are the main users of this road, and if we drive carefully, we will save lives. Also, I want to urge the police to deploy some of their officers on this road because that will be very helpful.
Politicians Undanyang, the NPP KMC chairman, and Keba Jallo, party leader of the PPP, who are all residents of Bundung, called for proper road maintenance through community initiatives such as regular cleaning exercises. Umi Dabo, Bundung's representative at the Children's Parliament, called on fellow young people to take ownership of the road project by acting responsibly on the road and supporting all community road maintenance activities. There were several other speakers, including the Imam of Bundung, who all thanked government for reconstructing the Bundung Road. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
Today, Saturday, Sukuta Development Committee in Combo North, in partnership with the Youth Development Committee and the Home Red Cross Link, held their annual tree planting exercise at the Sukuta Salaji Forest to restore forest cover. Lamin Alajifandin Dabo has more.
This tree planting exercise is part of Sukuta Goes Green initiative to combat climate change and preserve the community's only forest. Bubakar Singate is the head of the organizing committee.
As young people ourselves, we know that this is really important for us because this is about our future and we have to take action now. We don't have to wait until when we assume the responsibility as leaders to be able to take action. We can do this now and transition with it into the future, and this is why we are definitely leading this initiative. If you really see the organization of this Sukuta Goes Green initiative, this is being led by young people within the VDC, and it's between the Sukuta Red Cross, Sukuta Youth Development Committee and the young people of the community, together with the VDC and the entire community, coming together to ensure such an initiative becomes get such kind of a weight. So for us, it's an opportunity, it's an honor. We are really humbled that we are taking the lead on this, and we want to continue doing this. And we want to call on partners, everybody, to come and join us in the drive towards addressing the climate crisis.
As concerns grow over lost forest cover, some communities are taking the initiative to turn things around. Umar Sidibe, head of plantation section under the technical unit of the Department of Forestry, explains the importance of preserving the forests.
The benefit of a forest is in different folds. One fold is seen, another fold is not seen. So their involvement in the protection and development of the forest cover is a key component to their success in their livelihood. Because as I stated, the water that we are drinking from Navek is all hosted in this forest. And secondly, also the air, filtration of the air for communities to inhale fresh air is a key component that the forest is playing. And the other component is the rainfall pattern. To have enough rainfall, a forest is a key component to participate in that aspect.
The Sukuta Red Cross Home Link is one of the collaborating partners in this initiative. Abdullah Sedi is the assistant link leader of the Sukuta Red Cross Home Link.
We have been doing our utmost best to ensure that every year we plant a huge amount of trees. For instance, this year we plant almost 200 trees. That is through the Ministry of Forestry, Department and other stakeholders there also contribute in ensuring that we have a better tree planting exercise at large.
Climate change has been a global threat caused by human activities such as deforestation, pollution, among other things. Honorable Abdul K. Cham, the Councillor of Sukuta Ward, shares his views about the initiative.
We are here to plant trees of different varieties, so we are very much happy with the initiative that is currently happening every time to plant a tree for our forest to become a better forest.
At the end of this tree planting exercise, the Sukuta Red Cross Home Link volunteers, the Village Community Development Committee, and other stakeholders enjoy a drumming and dancing and singing fanfare by the famous Otita cultural group. For QTV News, I am Lamin Alai Fandindabo.
And now to international news. In a historic achievement, Senegal joins an elite group of African countries operating a satellite after it successfully launched its first satellite, Gaindesat 1A, in Vernberg Space Force, based in the United States of America. The launch of the nano satellite came after Senegal in 2019 announced its ambitious plan to build and launch its first satellite within 2 years. More in this report by Rohi Samba.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
The launch demonstrates the country's commitment towards harnessing space technology for socio-economic growth and scientific advancement, while also fostering a vibrant local space ecosystem that supports research and drives industrial innovation. The Gaindesat 1A will provide valuable data to better manage Senegal's water resources, improve weather focus and aviation safety, and contribute to the monitoring and management of Senegal's lakes and watercourses. The data will also help in land management and disaster prevention. Satellites also can observe wildfires, volcanoes and smoke. All this information helps scientists predict weather and climate and helps farmers know what crops to plant. The breakthrough, which marks a major step towards Senegal's technological sovereignty, was as a result of 5 years of hard work by its engineers and technicians. In acknowledgement of this milestone, President Bassirou Diomaye Faye said, "Senegal is entering a new era today with the successful launch of our first satellite, Gaindesat 1A. In terms of number of satellites launched in Africa, South Africa leads the way with a total of 11 as of 2022, closely followed by Egypt 10, Algeria 6, Nigeria 6, Morocco 3, and Ethiopia 2. Reporting for QTV News, I am Rahisam.
Now, before we end this news bulletin, here's a recap of our main news headlines. Today, Saturday, President Barrow took time off from his weekend break to continue his inspection tour of government projects in the West Coast region and the Kanifing municipality. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, on Friday commended the Gambia government for republishing the draft constitution in the official gazette. The chairman of the Kush Task Force, Commissioner Pa Samba Bojang, and Sefo Singate, the Senior Program Officer Non-Communicable Diseases at the Ministry of Health, have highlighted the dangers of the apparent increase of the abuse of the drug Kush in the Gambia. The National Assembly member for Bundung, Honorable Suleiman Jame, earlier this week organized a community dialogue with key stakeholders ahead of the formal opening of the Bundung Road, which has been under construction. In international news, in a historic achievement, Senegal has joined elite groups of African countries operating a satellite after it successfully launched its first satellite, Gaindesat 1A, in the United States of America. That's all we have time for in this news bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. Well, join us tomorrow for Week in Review at 8 p.m. and have a pleasant night. Bye.